Okay, welcome to the Real Estate Zone, and I'm sitting here with Prevance Property Bridging Finance, and with me I've got Christo Jonker. Christo is the National Sales and Marketing Manager for Prevance Bridging Finance, and in particular they are financiers, particularly of property developers and also sellers of property, and also estate agents looking for shorter term finance. Now, we know that finance is such a big thing in the property industry. So first of all, welcome, Christo.
Thanks for having me on the show.
It's an absolute pleasure. Christo, we know that whether you're an investor, whether you're a developer, whether you're a seller of property, whether you're an estate agent, you need finance. Tell us a little bit about the options that you have. And then a little bit later on we'll elaborate on what we need to do to qualify for that kind of finance.
All right, awesome. So once again, thanks, Neil. Prevance is primarily a short-term property finance solution company. So anything short-term and property-related sort of transactions is our focus. As you mentioned, we advance property sellers, establish commissions, we assist property developers with funding facilities. And there's various of other sort of solutions that we've got, but primarily the focus point is short-term property finance solutions.
Right.
So we rather try and come up with solutions all the time, and so we've got a set sort of criteria or solutions, but yeah, we come up with new solutions all the time, whenever the opportunity obviously arises.
Okay.
All right. So when we talk about the seller's advance, that's usually between 40 and 65 days. The transfer normally runs for 2.5 months. So the seller advance there, that's usually sort of the turnaround time or the time frame. On the development side of things, you're looking at a couple of months.
Right.
Sort of average 3 to 6 months.
Right.
So we unlock a development rather than doing the complete project.
Right.
As you said, we'll elaborate a bit later, but I want to mention that we don't compete against the banks.
Right.
So we can't give a facility of say 10, 20 years.
Yes.
So yeah, that's not our game. So short term, we like our money to turn.
Yes.
So yeah, that's basically the term.
Excellent.
Yes, that's definitely a prime example.
Right.
So just to go on a bit further, so the developer's ready to kickstart. So your zonings, regulation approvals are in place.
Yeah.
Services are in place, and he's ready to break ground.
Right.
And we will assist him to obviously do that. Each and every development we obviously assess on its own merit.
Right.
Once again, we don't have a set criteria. Obviously, there are prime sort of cool things that we look at, but every development is unique, and we also assess it on that basis. But that's more or less a sort of ideal scenario. Okay, so on the rate side of things, because we're short term, it's expensive. So obviously we need to cater for that period. But yeah, it's difficult to mention a rate, but it's quite expensive. Let's look at like between 3.5–4%.
Right.
It can be lower. It's very seldomly higher than that, depending on the risk and the security of each transaction.
Right.
So that's more or less the rates, and hence the short term.
Yes.
Security is usually the development side. It doesn't need to be the development side. We also look at additional property security. It all depends on the loan amount required. It's usually plus minus double the value of the loan.
Yes.
In terms of security that it will require. It's always unencumbered property, immovable assets. For sure, yeah. So our minimum is plus minus 500,000, and we go up to plus minus 5 to 7 million rand. We can go slightly higher depending on the transaction. We've got the ability to go slightly higher, but we don't like really to advertise it, although I'm advertising it now. But that's more or less sort of the margin between 500 and 7 million rand. Yeah, so that's sort of our day-to-day core sort of business solution that we provide.
Right.
So the examples are a seller is awaiting transfer. He would like to access our funds obviously before transfer happens. It's either to secure the next property purchase where deposit is required,
Right.
That's a very prime sort of example. The next example is to pay for clearance figures.
Right.
Obviously, the transferring attorney needs to pay the council to obtain
Yes.
the clearance certificate.
Yes.
So that we do quite a lot on a daily basis.
Right.
And then it can be for any other, whatever reason. If you want to
Yeah.
go on holiday in February, you
Mm.
can do that.
Yes.
And to do some consolidation,
Yeah.
whatever the reason is. As long as the property transaction is secured,
Mhm.
and obviously, we deal with the transferring attorney.
Mhm.
Usually we obtain an undertaking to pay us on registration. So it's a very quick and easy process. So yeah, once again, if there's any sellers out there
Mm.
that's awaiting transfer, please make contact with us on our website or phone any of our consultants to just to get a more detailed explanation of how the process will work. But usually it's like 24-hour process and
Yeah.
it's completed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so first of all, we don't really assist buyers.
Right.
Because the simple reason is, when we advance a seller,
Mm.
the proceeds is obviously our security. So we buy the rights of the proceeds.
Right.
So, that's why we can only advance the seller.
Mhm.
And why is it important for your estate agent to know that bridging finance exists? It's an important tool to have when you're dealing with a property investor,
Yes.
to know that bridging finance exists.
Right.
For instance, to make the seller aware that there are options to advance the rates, there are options to advance for your next property purchase,
Mm.
to improve the cash flow while you're waiting that 2.5 month period. So,
Right.
to tell the seller that up front, I think is a good added value.
Yeah.
It's a good, it's a good sales perspective for the property investor and for the estate agent.
Right.
I always say, the more information you can provide to your seller,
Mm.
the better.
Yes.
And for property developers, as I said in the beginning, we don't compete against the banks.
Mhm.
But to have a facility with Prevance, improves the cash flow during the course.
Mm.
Even though you've got a facility at the banks, for instance,
Mhm.
you can just build quicker, everything happens quicker. So if you require funds quickly, it's available. So it's to unlock,
Yes.
that bigger project,
Right.
and also to complete and assist with cash flow.
Right.
So I would say that's sort of the core advantage
Okay.
to have a facility.
Fantastic.
Okay, so sort of first point of contact is our website.
Right.
Interesting articles are shared there on a regular basis
Mhm.
across the board from interesting perspectives.
Mm.
But it's a very easy and quick way to apply or just to inquire.
Mm.
One of our consultants, executives will get in contact, within minutes from the inquiry.
Mm.
We also have a live chat sort of forum on our website. If you just
Mm.
want to ask a couple of questions,
Mm.
within seconds we'll obviously apply to that query.
Yes.
Or just make contact with us
Yes.
and get in touch with one of our professionals.
And your website is, just for the audience?
It's www.prevance.co.za.
Okay.
We also have a Facebook page
Right.
where we share some cool, interesting articles there as well.
Great stuff. Well, Christo, thank you very much for sharing. Thank
Awesome,
you.
thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, welcome to the Real Estate Zone. I'm sitting with Louis Freitas. He's the Chief Executive Officer of Prevance Capital. Now, Prevance Capital is in the short-term bridging loan business. Louis, maybe you just want to tell us a little bit about where has Prevance come from, because there are a lot of loan companies out there. And obviously people like to know if they are getting loans from a company that it's good money and the money's good to go, and possibly it has to come from a point of integrity. So maybe you want to share a little bit of background about the company, where it started.
Sure, Neil. The current shareholders actually bought the company from the previous owners around about 2005.
Right,
But since then, it's radically changed.
right.
The company's grown exponentially.
Mm-hmm.
The main focus of the company is in short-term bridging finance,
Right,
which essentially are not loans.
yeah.
We discount property transactions.
Mm.
So if somebody has sold their property, entitled to be paid,
Mm-hmm.
we buy that debt.
Right, right.
So it's not really a loan.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And this is what we term as vanilla bridging finance.
Right, right,
We do hundreds of these deals every month.
right.
It's very systematized and well organised, and we try and pay our deals like lightning fast.
Right.
However, we do provide loans, and this is a growth area for the business.
Mm-hmm.
It's all property based,
Mm-hmm.
and a large part of it is to fund developers.
Right. Right.
And why they're loans is because they're of a longer term nature.
Right.
However,
Right.
it's all short term,
Mhm.
and it's a relative statement. We're talking about a couple of months.
Yes. Yes.
And this, again, unlocks transactions for developers. It's
Right.
not meant to fund the entire development, it's meant
Mhm.
to fund an element of the development,
Mm-hmm.
either to kickstart the development up front or at the other end, in the shorter funds, to unlock a completed or almost complete development.
Right.
So, as I say, a couple of months.
Right.
It's really dependent on the need of the client. So we're not prescriptive. It's got to fit in with the needs of the client.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise it won't work. So I'd actually like to say that our business is really short-term property finance solutions.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a finance need, we're in the finance business,
Mm-hmm.
property related, maybe we got the solution.
Mm-hmm.
Bring it to us, we'll have a look, we try to think out the box.
Right.
Well, we want to establish a long-term relationship with the client.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, that's fundamental. We want to live the business with a client. A fundamental part of our culture, if I could call it like that, a pillar, is partnership. And that doesn't mean that we have a stake in the business, but it means we live the business, we're part of it, we only enjoy the excitement of the business with the client.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to assist in the success of the client. And that's key for us.
Right.
The other thing is service.
Mm.
We go out of our way to provide premier service. That is actually fundamental. Quick answers, try to understand the business, understand the needs, and try to meet those needs as best we can together with the management of the client. Oh, we see plenty of opportunities, particularly in the development sphere.
Mm-hmm.
Developers have great difficulty in getting funding from the banks.
Mm-hmm.
It takes too long, it's onerous, lots of hoops to jump through. Now, I'm not being critical of the bank because that's the nature of their funding,
Mm-hmm.
but we offer something different.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot and will not, and we do not compete with the banks. We're complementary. We will unlock a transaction and enable it to get going. When the banks come in, that's how we get paid. So we give a fast answer, the guys want to get out the ground. And that's the niche that we play.
Right.
And we see this expanding. The country is actually going ahead. We see people getting going. And we want to assist them in getting going. And that's the role that we play.
Right. Yeah, because I think in South Africa we've got, we've got a massive housing backlog, and there's a lot of development that's happening in South Africa right now, which I think you could play that partnership.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And we see that countrywide. You
Right.
just have to drive around
Mm-hmm.
and you see all the developments.
Right.
People need homes,
Yeah.
and people move up. So when there's new developments in the affordable area,
Mm.
those people who were in the affordable area move up, and so on and so forth. And at all levels, these developments going up all the time. Indeed.
Mm.
So for our what we call term loans, and they're not necessarily restricted to developments, could be for any business, and essentially it has to be for business,
Mm-hmm.
because the client needs to make money on our money.
Right.
If they're not going to make money on our money, we really can't do the business. We're not prepared to do the business, notwithstanding everything else being in place.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be a win-win,
Yeah.
otherwise we won't start. So it could be for any business venture,
Mm-hmm.
but we need security. And so because it's property based, we need a first mortgage bond on our property. That gives us security, which hopefully we never need to rely on.
Mm-hmm.
The second element which we look at is how we're going to get repaid. And both us and the client must buy in entirely to that repayment mechanism. But of course, sometimes, beyond anybody's control, things don't go according to plan. Unfortunately, we need to rely on the property.
Mm-hmm.
But we really don't want to think about that up front.
Mm-hmm.
But nevertheless, we still have to have it in case things go wrong. Well, it's quite simple. Just come and talk to us. There's no torturous process. Just come and have a cup of tea. Come and tell us your story. Bring us the information. There's no hidden fees, no application fees. It's very relaxed. And let's see if we can gel, if we can help you, if we click, if what we offer is what you require. There's no obligation. Just come and chat to us.